Hello, hello, sweet honeybees. I hope you're having an absolutely wonderful day today. I had a message that was wanting to come through, and I felt guided to come sit outside to deliver it. I'm hoping that I don't regret coming out here to do it because it is early evening. The sun is starting to go down. It's the time of the day when there's quite a few mosquitoes out, and they absolutely love my sweet blood. They are constantly feasting on my energy. But maybe that is actually part of the message and why I felt so guided to come sit out here. The message that was coming through is life is but a dream. Do you want it to be a sweet one or a nightmare? The choice is all yours when you become lucid. Are you awakened in this dream? From my own experience, when we awaken within this matrix program, we start to realize that this world is full of parasitic systems that are draining our most valuable resources, our time and our energy. It puts us in this state of survival and fear. As more of the collective begins to awaken, I see a lot of people, myself included, I am most definitely guilty of this, have really been focusing on the world that we don't want to be in. But all that's doing is giving more power to it because we're continuing to feed our energy into something that we don't want instead of placing our energy and our focus into what we do want. And this isn't to say that we should spiritually bypass the problems that we're going through as human beings, because there are very real problems in the world. But are we looking for solutions and ways that we can create a better world? Or are we just still kind of wallowing in the energy of the old world, the old life that we don't want to be living by focusing on, I don't want this, I don't want that? What is it that you do want? The card of the day that I pulled for my altar goes along with this message as well. We had the Two of Earth, Two of Pentacles in this deck. It is the card of cycles, and it's got the infinity, but in this card, it is an Ouroboros. It is the self-devouring snake. And it's this endless cycle of eating itself. And we go through these experiences to learn what it is that we don't want, but to be able to break out of that cycle, that infinite cycle, and step into a spiral, you have to start embracing what it is that you do want. Don't we want to bring heaven, the cosmos, here to planet Earth? Aren't we these infinite cosmic beings with this great power to create within us? So why are we focusing on the world that we don't want when we could be focusing on creating the world that we do want? I had a cup of tea yesterday too that had a tag. I felt called to pull this tag off and save it, and it's also very relevant to this message. The brightness of your being is generated within. If you want the world to be a brighter place, you have to be the light. You have to shine the light. And again, it's okay to acknowledge that there are problems, because there are problems. But how can we fix those problems? What steps can we be taking to call in the life that we do want? I want to pull, I'm going to pull a dream card here to get a little further information on this message. Oh goodness, me just dropping my cards. But a bunch of them flipped over, but I'm going to take the one that fell down to the ground, talking about the brightness within and creating a better world. What is it that you do want? We have celebrity. Shine like the star that you are. Can you really shine when your energy is being weighed down by the darkness? The time is now for you to spread your wings and fly. You don't have to see the world solely through the lens of all of these systems are out to get me. There are parasites everywhere that are stealing my time and my energy. Because by focusing on their existence, rather than focusing on your own personal light, your abilities, the star that exists within you, all you're doing is giving them more power over you. Speak harsh truths and shine light on darkness, but don't allow that to be the sole place where you focus your energy. Me personally, I will speak like whenever I feel guided, whenever I feel those heavy parasitic energies trying to take over me, I will speak my boundaries and my protection. I will say, that is not my energy. That is not my reality. I am divinely protected. I am divinely guided. I am the creator of my own reality. I speak positive affirmations and I set my boundaries and I call in what I do want in my life, what I do want to embody as I'm doing all of this. And I have found that mentally, I have been feeling a lot better. These heavy things in life have not been so burdensome on me. It's a way for me to call back my personal power that has been drained from these parasitic systems. Be mindful of the messages that you send. You do not consent to having your energy drained, but what do you consent to? I'm working on some binding spells for personal empowerment right now. I'm going to be releasing some music with them, but in one of my songs, my favorite one in particular, I include a part how in my universe, no need to work. Oh no, in my universe, play every day. No need to work. Fun is currency. What I seek, it seeks me. Happiness sticks like honey. When you focus on what brings you joy, you call in more light into the world because your light within grows. Shine like the star you are and be mindful of the messages that you send, that you're putting out into the world. I don't want to draw this message out very long because I feel like that is the message, is just be mindful about what you're feeding your energy into, what you're allowing to grow, because this world is consumed with negative egregores as it is. And rather than fighting these systems, I feel like it, rather than focusing so hard on fighting, I feel like it's better to flow, like surrender and flow with life by focusing on calling in the new earth through joy, play, and happiness. It's embodiment of what you want to see in the world versus fighting for peace. Because how do you fight a war for peace? It just doesn't make sense. And again, I'm guilty of all of this too. I have most definitely been a fighter. You will see on many videos and scripts that I've written for my podcast that that's exactly what I have been doing. And I'm just trying to release that and embody this new earth energy of trusting that it's all happening the way that it's meant to happen, and that what is meant for me will be called into my life the more I surrender, trust, flow, and focus on what makes that inner child happy. Okay, so the card that came out, it's 37, Earth, talking about that new earth energy. Hands in soil. Love is intangible as it is in the invisible. My treasure is abundance. Let's see. And it's also a 37. That's a 10, which is a number 1. These mosquitoes are eating me. I do not consent to that, but I'm sitting out here, so I guess I'm just going to have to deal with it. Let's see what this card says in the book. Prosperity, practicality, and simplicity. Earth represents the physical manifestation of divine reality. This card won't tolerate nonsense and calls for practical solutions that require persistence and resilience, but also simplicity. Because if you know how to appreciate the value of this pragmatic work, the reward will be beyond your expectations. Use your senses to expand beyond what your eyes see. Underground, most of the work is done, but working the land doesn't require elaborate plans, but rather love and patience. Don't get bogged down in complex ideas or strategies. Approach things with simplicity. The action. Abandon your immediate plans and go for a walk in a forest or at the beach. Be a witness to the interconnectivity between plants, animals, and elements, observing, admiring, and finding gratitude in the smallest things. No schemes are required to get back to your situation. Set a new, clearer vision where you belong without having to elaborate in order to reach your goals. You don't need much to be deeply happy and are called to return to the essential. Speaking of gratitude in small things, 1333 on the timer as I begin to say this. It's so easy to focus on everything that is wrong in this world, when this world is also full of so many beautiful things. And you can actually reprogram your brain to see more of the beautiful things and help call in this new earth energy of love and patience that we all know is happening underneath the surface. It just hasn't reflected within the world just yet. But you can help reflect it in the world by bringing your inner state further into that space. There is a technique where you can make a list at the end of the day before bed of 10 things that brought you joy or made you feel good throughout the day. And it could be something as simple as, I had a cup of coffee and I love coffee. And as you do this consistently, it's going to retrain your brain to where you start looking for those little moments of joy and happiness, those simple pleasures that you can find gratitude for, because your brain knows, hey, I have this list that I have to fill out at the end of the night. And the more of us that focus on the beauty of the world, the less power the darkness of the world has over us as a collective. We're going to call in the new earth by starving the egregores, the archons that have been controlling this planet through fear. And we do that by focusing on love. Well, that is the message that I have for you today. I just cut off my video and I just wanted to come back for a minute. I wish I had flipped the deck sooner, because on the bottom we had light. And if that is not a confirmation, then I do not know what is. Fire roots within and beams for others, as all negativity I banish. Starve the darkness by shining your light. Focus on love, faith over fear. If you're interested in receiving a personal card reading or sitting down and having a companionship call with me, please go check out my Buy You a Coffee page. I will have it linked down in the description box below. I have a couple of offerings already listed up on there. I'm going to be adding some more over the next couple of days. I just haven't gotten around to adding just everything yet, but I do have some new stuff over there. If you're interested in having a companionship call, which is like peer support and talking about things, but it won't have to be recorded like I do with my podcast episodes, just to have a buddy, get some spiritual guidance, talk through some things that maybe you don't have anyone to talk through it with, you can send me an email at BeeConnected@electrichoneypotproject.com. If you're interested in being on my podcast and sharing your story and your dreams, please be sure to check out my website, electrichoneypotproject.com, and submit a contact form at the bottom of the website, or email me directly. Well, I hope you have an absolutely wonderful rest of your day, night, week, month, year, and life. Remember to be curious, question everything. Most of all, stay sweet, honeybee. Sting only when it counts.